If I told you there was a simple philosophy that could change your entire life in just 1 week, would you try it? What if I told you this philosophy has been used by emperors, soldiers, slaves, and billionaires for over 2,000 years? And what if I told you that you could start practicing it today, right now, without reading a single book or spending a single dollar? You would probably think I am lying, but I am not. The philosophy is called Stoicism, and in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to start practicing Stoicism today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Because Stoicism is not complicated, it is not difficult, and it does not require you to be a genius. It just requires you to make a few simple changes to how you think, and those changes will transform everything. My name is Eternal Echoes, and every week I share ancient wisdom that changes modern lives. So let me start with a simple question. Why should you care about Stoicism? What makes this 2,000-year-old philosophy so powerful that millions of people are searching for it right now? The answer is simple. Stoicism teaches you how to control your mind. And when you control your mind, you control your life. Think about your biggest problems right now. Maybe you are stressed about work. Maybe you are worried about money. Maybe you are anxious about the future. Maybe someone hurt you and you cannot stop thinking about it. All of these problems have one thing in common. They are all in your head, not the events themselves, but how you think about the events. And Stoicism teaches you exactly how to change those thoughts, so that stress becomes calm, worry becomes peace, anxiety becomes confidence. Sounds too good to be true? Let me prove it to you. 2,000 years ago, there was a man named Epictetus. He was born a slave. He had no freedom, no rights, no control over his life. And one day, his master broke his leg. On purpose. Most people in that situation would be destroyed by anger, by bitterness, by hatred. But Epictetus did something different. He practiced Stoicism, and he realized something simple but life-changing. He could not control what his master did, but he could control how he reacted to it. And that realization set him free, not physically, mentally. And years later, after he was freed, Epictetus became one of the greatest teachers in all of Rome. Emperors traveled across the empire to learn from him, a former slave. Because he had mastered something more powerful than any throne. He had mastered his own mind. And you can too, starting today. So how do you actually practice Stoicism? Let me give you 3 simple steps that you can use right now. These are not complicated. These are not difficult. These are practical exercises that will change your life if you do them every single day. Step 1. Practice the morning question. Every single morning, before you check your phone, before you do anything, ask yourself one simple question. What can I control today? Not what you want to control. Not what you wish you could control. What you actually can control. The answer is always the same. Your thoughts, your actions, your responses. That is it. You cannot control other people. You cannot control the weather. You cannot control the traffic. You cannot control whether your boss is in a bad mood. But you can control how you react to all of those things. And when you start your day by reminding yourself of this, everything changes. Because you stop wasting energy on things you cannot control. And you start focusing all your energy on the one thing you can control: yourself. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, did this every single morning. He would wake up and remind himself that people would be difficult today, that things would go wrong, that life would be challenging. But he also reminded himself that he had the power to choose his response. And that is what made him one of the greatest leaders in history. Not because he controlled everything, but because he controlled himself. Step 2. Practice the evening reflection. Every night, before you go to sleep, take 5 minutes to reflect on your day. Ask yourself 3 questions. Question 1. What did I do well today? Not what went well, what you did well. Because Stoicism is about focusing on your actions, not your results. Question 2. What could I have done better? Be honest. Be specific. Not to punish yourself, but to learn. Question 3. What will I do differently tomorrow? This is the most important question, because reflection without action is just daydreaming. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, did this every single night. He would review his entire day, every conversation, every decision, every reaction, and he would ask himself if he lived according to his values. And if he did not, he would plan how to do better tomorrow. This simple practice made him one of the wisest men in Rome, and it will make you wiser too. Step 3. Practice the pause. This is the most powerful Stoic exercise, and it is the simplest. Whenever something happens that triggers you, pause, just for 3 seconds, before you react, before you respond, before you do anything. Pause. And in that pause, ask yourself one question. Is this in my control? If the answer is no, let it go. Immediately. Do not argue with it. Do not fight it. Do not waste your energy on it. Just let it go. If the answer is yes, ask yourself one more question. What is the best way I can respond? Not the angriest way, not the most emotional way, the best way. Then do that, and move on. This 3-second pause is the difference between reacting like an animal and responding like a human. Epictetus taught that animals react, humans respond. And the space between the event and your response is where your freedom lives. Now I know what you are thinking. This sounds great. But will it actually work? Let me give you a real example. Imagine you are driving to work. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Your first instinct is to get angry, to honk, to yell. But instead, you pause. 3 seconds. And you ask yourself, is this in my control? No. You cannot control how other people drive. So you let it go. And you keep driving. Calmly. Peacefully. And you arrive at work in a good mood instead of a terrible mood. That is Stoicism. It is not about ignoring problems. It is about not creating problems that do not exist. Because that driver cutting you off is not a problem. Your anger about it is the problem. And you have complete control over that. Here is another example. Imagine someone criticizes you at work. Your first instinct is to get defensive, to argue, to prove them wrong. But instead, you pause. 3 seconds. And you ask yourself, is this criticism true? If it is true, you thank them. You learn from it. You grow. If it is false, you ignore it completely. Because their opinion is not in your control. Your response is. And when you respond with wisdom instead of emotion, you win. Every single time. This is what Stoicism teaches. And this is what changes lives. Now let me give you one more practice that will make Stoicism even more powerful. Keep a Stoic journal. Every single day. Write down 3 things. 1 thing you are grateful for. 1 thing you learned. 1 thing you will do better tomorrow. That is it. 3 sentences. It takes less than 2 minutes. But over time, this simple practice will transform how you see the world. Because when you focus on gratitude, you stop focusing on complaints. When you focus on learning, you stop focusing on failure. And when you focus on improvement, you stop focusing on perfection. Marcus Aurelius kept a journal for his entire life. And that journal became one of the most important books in all of history. Meditations. He was not writing for us. He was writing for himself, to remind himself of Stoic principles, to keep his mind clear, to stay focused on what mattered. And you can do the same, starting today. So let me summarize everything. If you want to start practicing Stoicism today, do these 4 things. 1. Every morning ask yourself, what can I control today? 2. Every evening reflect on your day and plan to do better tomorrow. 3. Whenever something triggers you, pause for 3 seconds and choose your response. 4. Keep a simple journal. Gratitude, learning, improvement. That is it. 4 simple practices. And if you do them every single day for just 1 week, your life will change. You will be calmer, wiser, stronger. You will stop reacting to every little thing. You will start responding with intention. And you will finally feel like you are in control of your life. Because you will be. Not in control of events. In control of yourself. And that is the only control that matters. Stoicism is not about reading books. It is not about memorizing quotes. It is about practicing every single day. And the best part? You do not need anything to start. No books, no courses, no money. Just a decision to take control of your mind, starting today. 2,000 years ago, Epictetus said something that changed millions of lives. He said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." You cannot control what happens to you, but you can always control what happens inside you. And when you master that, you are free. Completely free. If this video helped you understand how to start practicing Stoicism, subscribe to Eternal Echoes. Because every week, I share ancient wisdom that transforms modern lives. And comment below. Tell me honestly, what is one Stoic practice you will start today? The ancient philosophers are watching. And so is your future.